Today, we delve into Matthew chapter 2, a chapter rich with divine orchestration and prophetic fulfillment. This passage challenges us to see God's hand in history and his unyielding control over the course of human events. The chapter begins with the visit of the wise men from the east. These men, often referred to as magi, were not mere astrologers. They were seekers of truth, recognizing the divine significance of the star they followed. Their journey was no accident. God orchestrated their path to the King of Kings. They asked, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews?" Matthew chapter 2, verse 2. This question echoed through the corridors of power, shaking the very foundations of Herod's rule. Herod, a puppet king installed by Rome, was a man gripped by fear and paranoia. His reaction to the news of Jesus' birth was swift and brutal. He sought to destroy the one who was prophesied to rule Israel. This was a direct fulfillment of prophecy. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 15 foretold the weeping and mourning in Ramah as Herod's slaughter of the innocents echoed the cries of Rachel, weeping for her children. But let's not lose sight of the central figure, Jesus Christ, the divine child, born in Bethlehem, in the city of David, fulfilling Micah chapter 5 verse 2. This was no ordinary birth. It was the incarnation of God himself, stepping into human history to redeem a fallen world. The star that guided the wise men was not just a celestial event, but a divine sign, a beacon pointing to the Savior. God's sovereignty is further highlighted as he directs Joseph through dreams. An angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph, warning him to flee to Egypt, Matthew chapter 2 verses 13 through 15. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the Lord through the prophet. "Out of Egypt I called my son," Hosea chapter 11 verse 1. Every move, every event was under God's control, showcasing his divine plan unfolding with precision. The return from Egypt and settling in Nazareth fulfilled another prophecy. "He shall be called a Nazarene," Matthew chapter 2 verse 23. This was not just about geography, it was about identity and destiny. Nazareth, a place of low esteem, became the backdrop for the one who would be despised and rejected by men. A man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. Isaiah chapter 53 verses 3 through 4. This chapter is not merely a historical account, it is a revelation of God's unchanging nature and his absolute authority over all creation. It challenges us to recognize that nothing happens by chance. God's purposes will always prevail. He used pagan magi, a tyrant king, and a humble carpenter to fulfill his redemptive plan. In our lives today, we must acknowledge God's sovereignty. He is not a passive observer, but an active participant in our world. The birth of Jesus Christ, his protection from Herod's wrath, and his upbringing in Nazareth all point to a God who is intimately involved in the details of our lives. We must trust him, knowing that his plans for us are good. As we reflect on Matthew chapter 2, let us stand in awe of God's meticulous planning and his unwavering commitment to his promises. Let us be like the wise men who sought the truth and worshiped the King. Let us heed the warnings and guidance God gives us, just as Joseph did. And let us proclaim the sovereignty of our God, who rules over all and whose kingdom shall never end. We serve a God who is in control, a God who fulfills his promises, and a God who sent his Son to save us. Let us bow in worship and submission to his will, knowing that he alone is worthy